Hello, everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode of the Mythical Classic Plus show. I'm your host, Ebonhart, here with my boy, Hello J Tello.
Yo, what's good, amigos?
And today's episode is special. Today's episode is the ultimate episode before we discover the future of Classic. And the reason for that is, when this video comes out, Warcraft Direct will be exactly 26 hours afterwards. And we are going to learn the future of the franchise we are in love with and whether or not this podcast dies on that day. So we are going to jump into the very first topic right off the bat and talk about the brand new trailer that just came out a couple hours ago. 3 minutes of juicy content done by Hurricane and his amazing illustrations. Well, not illustrations, it's not a drawing, it's a video. But his amazing animations, and there was an interesting facet about that trailer that everybody seemed to notice is that it was 3 minutes long. But 1 minute and 50 seconds was Classic, TBC, and Wrath. So Tello, I'm gonna let you start off here. What did you think about the fact that I think almost 75% of the trailer, I think 68%, whatever the exact percentage is, was Classic? What did that make you think?
I have no words, but if I had one word, is excitement. Pure excitement. I think first things first, the trailer is absolutely stunning. It's very beautiful. A lot of familiar places that us World of Warcraft players have seen before, and we're really excited to revisit again if we give the opportunity to do so at the Direct, which we're all hoping and crossing our fingers for. I think this is also hinting to a lot of possibilities with the Direct. What can possibly happen, and honestly, I must say, man, if you thought we were living off of copium now or before, you best believe we are at the highest, I am at the highest of clouds right now, dude. The highest copium cloud 9 you've ever seen in your life. And I'm even just like, even looking at the trailer, I'm still been rewatching it over and over and over again. And I'm just ready, man. I am so excited for what's to come. And I think this is hinting towards a lot of potential announcements during the Direct heavily favoring Classic, which is kind of shocking to me, because I thought it was going to be the other way around, where it was going to be heavily favoring more retail and talking about maybe sneak peeks into Midnight, you know what I mean, into the further expansions and stuff, and talking about other things. Like, obviously they're going to talk about other stuff like Rumble and Hearthstone, and I get that. I hope there's some surprise announcements, and it's not just this little list that they showed us on the Wowhead website. But I really am curious to see what they're going to deliver. I'm just happy that it's 45 minutes. I know we were talking about this, that we don't know if it was going to be an hour or 2 hours or 30 minutes. And then we were like, bro, just give us 10 minutes max. Yeah. give us 10 minutes max or 15, like fit it in somewhere. But bro, 45 with a minute and 50 of that majority of that trailer being Classic. Dude, that is massive potential for us, the boys of Classic, everybody that really appreciates it. People who are playing SoD right now, even private server Andes, anybody, that just likes to play Classic. And this gives us a lot of hope. What did you think about the trailer? And what do you think of like how this trailer affects the event?
So I watched it live. One of my viewers just goes, I was just chatting, theory crafting. I have a thing on Excalibur where on my stream, I lose my mind live, right? And someone typed, yo, Eben, they dropped a new trailer for the Twitter, for the daily post. And I was like, they did what? So I pull it up and I watch it, and I get these goosebumps that disappear as soon as Deathwing gets on screen. But I get these goosebumps and I'm like, holy shit, that is insane how much detail Hurricane put into the trailer. And like you said, like 1 minute 50 of Classic through Wrath, and then 70 seconds to do Cataclysm all the way to Dragonflight. Think about that. 3 expansions got, well, base game and 2 expansions got 1 minute 50. And then you had Cata, Mop, Quad, Legion, BFA, Shadowlands, Dragonflight. 7 expansions in 70 seconds. And I started like yelling, going like, I told you all progression servers were coming. I knew it. I am the Messiah. And then I point at like the whiteboard behind me where I said, where's the classic trilogy? Because, again, I called it out. I am him. As I like to say, right? Himothy, exactly. And then, that was cool. I was like, this is all hype and stuff. But it then made me think, that was very intentional. Every time they've done a Warcraft direct, this is the first time, or a BlizzCon or something since 2019, all the trailers have been very retail heavy. Until today. If they're combining the retail and the footage or whatever for like a multi-showcase or whatever announcement, it's always retail heavy. But they didn't even mention the War Within on this trailer. That was intentional. It stopped at Dragonflight.
You're right.
And now, again, like I said, my whole shtick is conspiracizing. Theorycraft. And to me, it signifies Classic has a big focus. Which, like I don't know about you, but I never thought I would actually believe it when I said that Blizzard would focus on it. Because even when it saved the game back in 2019 with the BFA and Shadowlands sub numbers being at a all-time low. 5 million plus people came back for 2019 Classic. I never thought I'd see the day, because then they released the Blue Post. And if you look at the Blue Post, the dialogue literally says, 20 years of World of Warcraft. Relive the evolution of the world's most beloved MMORPG and discover what's next on the horizon for both WoW Classic and Modern. And a special announcement at the end.
Yeah.
And so I just want to dive into that next topic, right off the bat, and essentially ask you, do you believe that special announcement is Classic Plus, or do you think we're getting debated? You let me know.
I mean, listen, I'll tell you right now, brother. I think the stars are aligning. I think, coincidence and, theories, they all go a long way. But when it comes to, things that we've even seen on Twitter, and just give little snippets, right? We've seen a poster of Illidan behind a 5 days waiting. We've seen Secret Labs show Wrath of the Lich King and TBC chairs, right? Next to each other. Why is it getting posted on Warcraft's, official Twitter account? Of course, of just some hype, but right before the direct.
Exactly.
The timing. Why not a couple months back? If it's just for a chair, And I know we're talking about chairs. And listen, chairs ain't the highlight of the video, all right?
No.
But they could be. But what I'm saying is
Secret Lab sponsor me.
Yes, there we go.
See?
Let's get it going.
I got one.
And Secret Labs, if you got a new cloak, I can use another one. Much love to you. However, though, not that it's from Secret Labs, but still, I'm saying is that I don't believe in coincidences when it happens in multiple instances. When it happens too many times in a row. Because when does a coincidence become, all right, something's going on here? We have actual evidence that it's pointing towards this being what we think it is. And of course, let's let the cat out of the bag. Classic Plus, right? We all know that a lot of creators, including Eben for the longest of times, has been talking about this is happening. It's coming. Trust the process. Keep smoking the copium. It's okay. There's much more to share. But this is the first time in a long time where I genuinely believe I think we're getting something. I don't want to be that guy, who knows? But I'll tell you right now, I bet you my whole box of limited white fudged Oreos in stores now that they will show something. I don't know what that something is. I don't know if it's 30 seconds, 10 seconds, maybe even a picture of someone's foot, and they get inspiration from Xalatath and Retail. Who knows? But I think something's happening. And listen, you guys can all say we're crazy in the comments below. People have been calling, a lot of classic creators us crazy for a long time. But guess what? The direct's happening, and a lot of things that we normally called in Season of Discovery came true. I've been called a lot of stuff, even myself. A lot of other creators have as well. And something that we're calling right now is possibly happening in the works, might come true. And if we call it again, are you guys going to call us crazy? Or is crazy starting to line up? Because I think it is. And I'm telling you right now, I really feel like that's the big surprise, is a Classic Plus snippet trailer. Very small, very small. It's not much, but it's going to be called something else, which we don't know who or what it's going to call. Maybe it is Classic Plus. I don't know. Or, whatever they want to say. I think that's the surprise. And if that's not the surprise, then everybody get ready to play Warcraft Rumble. It's going to be a great time. Warcraft Rumble, here we go, baby. Back to mobile game. Because if we don't get a Classic Plus announcement, I think my boy up in here, we might have to put caution tape around the house, lock the door, get any sharp objects out of the room, isolate him, and make sure he's okay. So
I've got an armory. I got weapons. So I've been saying Classic Plus, and now I've been saying it for a while now. I actually started before SoD even came out about Classic Plus. And then I thought SoD was Classic Plus until the devs kind of essentially confirmed, oh no, this is not Classic Plus. This is a test for something in the future. So I was like, yeah, makes sense, understandable, okay. So Classic Plus still isn't here. It's still in the progress. Because I initially thought that SoD was going to have infinite phases. It was going to be like phase 15, 19, 27, whatever, is constantly going. And then they were like, no, SoD ends. SoD's coming to an end. It's a season. And I was like, okay, fair enough. So Classic Plus has always been in the works. And everybody kind of believes it. Everybody kind of knew it. But everyone was kind of doubtful because like that trust and hype is kind of low. Especially after phase 3. Until phase 3, the hype was, it's coming. I believe. It's going to be amazing. And then everyone's like, I'm ready to be disappointed. Not me, because I believe. And it's going to be Classic Plus. And the reason I say that is, what other surprise could they announce? They know for a fact if they just tease some random game mode like on retail, like, hey everybody, and we've done everything. Here's, classic progression. Here's a midnight 11.1 teaser. Here's this. And we've already announced Plunderstorm, right? So this trailer you've all been waiting for, the secret surprise we made you wait 42 minutes for. Welcome to Island Boat Racing, the newest game mode in retail. I am like, I will muster the legions, and I shall march on Irvine, California. Blizzard will capitulate, and I shall bring order and change. I shall set free the creatives to bring back the glory of the people and the Warcraft.
Yes. I was looking for my hammer. I was like, I can't find it, but I know it's back there somewhere. But we will march. We will go on a march if that doesn't get announced. Because I said to myself, I was like, the only other thing I could possibly think if there's like a secret announcement is announcement of like a new Warcraft IP or like, it is Warcraft related, but like, maybe like a role playing game or something like a single player thing. Very possible. I don't know. Or something else, another Warcraft inspired game. But if you're going to say secret announcement at the end, I mean, come on.
And the reason I said that is because they specifically, if you look at the wording, it's under the 20, so there's 30 years of Warcraft RTS. That's what it's actually called here on the Blue Post. 30 years of Warcraft RTS. Hear more from the team working on the games that started it all, as they look forward to bringing new, exciting updates to Warcraft 3 Reforged and more. I don't think they're going to announce Warcraft 4 today. We'll cover more of this in a bit, because I'm just going to read out everything so everybody understands what we're saying. 10 years of Hearthstone. I'm not going to read that. Who gives a shit? Sorry to the Hearthstone. I don't think any Hearthstone players are even watching this. So I'm not going to apologize.
Yeah.
1 year of Warcraft Rumble. Fuck that. If you're upset by that, fuck you too.
True.
20 years of World of Warcraft. Specifically, World of Warcraft. Relive the evolution of the world's most beloved MMORPG. That's talking about classic progression, but we'll touch upon that after this Classic Plus segment.
Yeah.
And discover what's next on the horizon for both WoW Classic and Modern. So retail, and then after SoD, Cat to Mop. And they end that with a ... and a special announcement at the end. Now, I do agree that it could potentially be like a Microsoft's officially greenlighting the Warcraft RPG, like Baldur's Gate 3, etc. Like that. It would be a bit weird to put that under the World of Warcraft segment, but like, fair enough. I mean, I guess it makes sense, right? Okay, cool. Would I be upset? So long as the SoD and Classic roadmap looked pretty good and was fine, I'd be like, I love RPGs. I'm a Warcraft RPG creator now. It is what it is. Let's go.
Yeah.
But everything points towards Classic Plus. Because if it's about World of Warcraft, a new game mode is going to piss everybody off. A new game mode is going to get the Diablo Immortal treatment.
Yeah.
And they're not announcing Midnight because we already know it's coming. Like, teasing Midnight is not the big special announcement. They would have just said that. They would have said, and a sneak peek at Midnight. That's not like a teaser. Everybody knows we're getting that info at some point. It's kind of more of a, well, yeah, Midnight. Okay, cool. So if it's just about Classic and Modern, what is a special announcement aside from Classic Plus? Are they going to announce that at the end of The Last Titan, WoW 2's coming?
Mm-hmm.
Which honestly, I'd be okay with that too. I'll take that as well. You know what? That's fair.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate that either.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. But like, okay, so if it's not WoW 2 and it's not Classic Plus, what could it be if it's an MMO? Like, if you had to say they were doing something that's not Classic Plus or WoW 2, and it's a big announcement, what could it be?
I mean, to be honest, I'm clueless. Like, if I'm looking at this from a person that is a fan of WoW, playing WoW, enjoying WoW to its fullest, then it's like, yeah, I try to connect the dots. What else is possibly WoW cooking that maybe I'm unaware of? And it can't be like any thing of a new expansion. They're already going to talk about Midnight from what we hear, right? They're talking about Mop, but that's not a new expansion. It's just Mop Classic, right? So we know about that already. So like anything else is just really all pointing towards something new about Classic Plus. And we've been all talking about this for months now. And I finally think the shuttle has arrived, and it's about time we see what is in store for Blizzard and what they're really preparing for us in the next couple of years for Classic Plus or Classic in general, if this is what they're going to go with. Because there's nothing else that can be really, in my opinion. Like, yeah, I know I theory craft on like a single player RPG. I wouldn't mind that if that's what they did. I think that would be cool because I still think single RPGs, player RPGs, they're booming right now. A lot of great single player RPG games are booming right now in the industry, and there's a lot of them. And I think also if they were to announce a WoW 2, Unreal 5, something crazy, that would be like, holy shit, okay, maybe it's not a Classic Plus angle, maybe it's a WoW 2 ride the train angle, holy shit. But I wouldn't be disappointed with either three of those things. I would say the single player RPG thing would probably be the weaker one out of the three, but still, I genuinely think there's something cooking. And I mean, to the people that watch, what do you guys think? I think me and Eben would be curious to see your thoughts on what you believe, what they would secretly announce. And don't meme about it either. I know, I already see the memes coming where it's like, brother, it's going to be nothing. It's going to be SoD 2, or it's going to be, it's going to be Kata Reborn or something. I don't care. Like, listen, at the end of the day, let's stop the memes. We all know that the stars are here. The ship has arrived. The copium has brought us all this way. Show us the damn trailer. Show the damn trailer. Like get to the point. Skip the rumble. Skip everything else. We want to see it. I don't know how much more we got to pay at this point because we're all excited and I'm damn well ready to get involved with it. But also talking about other things too. I was gonna say, I know that there is a lot of other things that they're gonna discuss on the direct, such as like Warcraft and stuff like that as well. I know Warcraft, like 3, like the whole 2.0 thing, and Warcraft 2 Remastered. So I wanted to know, what are your thoughts on like, them discussing a little bit further with that, and like, what do you think? You think that's going to be any hype surrounding those things?
So they pretty much said that that's coming, right? And it's more of a, even if they make Warcraft 3 amazing, like if they hypothetically fix it up, tweak it all, they add in the Warcraft 1 campaign like they initially planned originally, that would be pretty hype. I'd make videos on it, I'd play it. I love the Warcraft RTS games, I would have a good time. And even with Warcraft 3 Remastered, it's just a high definition graphical update, which is kind of weird. I think it might mean they didn't want to use the word reforged because it's tainted. They might be using Remastered instead. So if it's like a full-on Warcraft 3 style remaster of Warcraft 2, that'd be pretty cool. I'd enjoy that. But I feel like unless it's like a whole new re-release of like Warcraft RTS, the remastered collection with all 3 campaigns fully remastered and like that Warcraft 3, but essentially Warcraft 4, kind of like Age of Empires 4 or Age of Mythology Retold, I think it'd be a bit weak. It'd be fun, people would play it, but like I think the RTS genre needs a big hitter. And I feel like unless they're gonna tease a Warcraft 4, which we know is coming because of Microsoft, right? But I feel like unless they tease the Warcraft 4 now, like, hey, here's all this amazing stuff. And we know the RTS genre is not for everybody. The future of the RTS genre is still bright. And it created most of your favorite genres, from MOBAs to Among Us style games, to tower defense games, to 5 other genres. The next evolution is here. In Unreal Engine 5. Warcraft 4. And like a 5-second teaser and like nothing else, like coming soon. That would be super hype. That would bring like a lot of eyes back to the RTS scene. But if there's no Warcraft 4, no matter how good it is, Reforged is tainted as a name and experience. Like they can't make it. Like they can fix it, but kind of like Age of Empires 2 and Age of Empires 4. After like a week, essentially nobody talks about it. It's popular. People are enjoying it. They're having fun. But then, like, an Age of Empires is one of the biggest RTS things on the planet. Correct. And if it's not Warcraft 4 or StarCraft 3, I just don't think anybody will care. That's my point of view. It's not like trying to be negative. I think it's going to be amazing. I'm going to love it. I'm going to make videos, enjoy it, stream it, play it. Does that make sense?
No, dude. Dog, you're spitting facts right now. You're not going anywhere wrong with this one, because at the end of the day, that is true. Hype only goes a long way depending on how much hype is carried within it, how much hype is supported behind it, and if the company actually cares about that hype going a long way. A lot of companies do this with a lot of multitude of genres that continue the hype going from either small events to big multitude events, or open wide events, such as like bigger company, like competitions with players in like an esports scene or etc. or whatever it is, and big events with hype goes a long way. But when it comes to like these RTS style games, and especially something like when it comes to, in particular, the conversation of Warcraft 3 2.0 and 2 Remastered, it's only so much that like it's cool, it's nice. I think it's dope. Personally, I would even play it too. But obviously, it's not something that's gonna keep the excitement going. You know what I mean? In terms of like, players saying, damn, like I'm super stoked for that. I cannot wait to get involved with that, rather than like seeing something obviously in relation to, the future of Season of Discovery, or, what's actually going to go down with more of Kata and, MOP, or Classic Plus potentially, and even further retail announcements. So I think more people would be more attuned to seeing that being more interesting to them rather than just these RTS games. But don't get me wrong, I think 2.0, maybe my guesstimate on that is that they're going to say 2.0 is going to list a laundry list of adjustments to make the game good again. You know what I mean? That it's our fault. We take accountability for Reforged. We messed up. We crossed a line that we should have never did, and we're making this game great. We're going to make it feel the way it should have felt upon release, with no problems this time around, and hopefully they address that. With Warcraft 2 Remastered, I will say this though, there is a potential for that remaster to revisit the failures of Warcraft 3 Reforged, which I'm concerned about that. And for any Warcraft, lovers, or people that enjoy RTS style games, that enjoyed the original 1 to 3, trilogy, I would say that this can be either a W or an L for you guys, and I hope it's a W. So with that being said, I do think RTS does have a life pool. I just don't think it's the biggest thing here on the category, even though it is the backing and foundation of what World of Warcraft is, right? At the end of the day, I do think it's just like it doesn't sit here on like the most looking forward towards topic out of everything else at the direct, in my personal opinion, at least.
No, you're 100% on point. Like on this part, like I don't think there's any real disagreement from anybody watching either. Like, I
Yeah,
feel
it's
like
no hate on the game.
I feel like everybody kind of like wants like a Warcraft 4 because everybody remembers like the early 2000s and even the 1990s. You know, if you were playing games back then, and that people want to enjoy the RTS scene, but I feel like people just don't know if there is an RTS scene. So like if Warcraft 4 gets announced, there might be another one. But if even Age of Empires 4 couldn't rekindle it much more than a small smidgen, it's kind of like maybe Warcraft 4 can, or maybe like a new Red Alert. But like, I just feel like everyone's kind of hesitant because like people's time is limited. Everyone, like my average audience age is like 34. That's a man with a mortgage, rent, bills to pay, wife, kids, a job he probably hates, a World of Warcraft he probably hates but still plays. A wife and kid he probably hates but can't get away with it.
Shit, you're going deep with this one. You're spitting facts right now, brother.
But
you're crazy.
I don't think people have the time to really invest in a lot of like games, and it's like I think people are still kind of burnt on Warcraft 3 Reforged. I hope 2.0 is amazing. Like I said, I hope, like you said, they just come up on stage and be like, Warcraft 3 Reforged was a stain on our reputation as a company. We made a big mistake, and we are rectifying that. It was initially meant to have the Warcraft 1 campaign. It was meant to have this, and this, and this, and we released none of that.
Yeah.
But today, we make that right. For everybody that already owns it and didn't do Warcraft 3 Refunded, you get the upgrade for free. To everybody else, Warcraft 3 Reforged is now the game you were initially promised, and we hope you give it another go. And boom, build that hype back up, make it good, whatever. And then, and Warcraft 2 Remastered comes with it or some shit. I don't know. Like, I don't know if you have to buy it again, if it's like a free upgrade, if you own it already. Like, I'm not sure what they're gonna do. I'm sure they'll make it nice, but like, at the end of the day, I haven't seen a singular thread about this, aside from maybe Grubby, who makes RTS content. But like, aside from him, like, there's like 2-3 other credits that are mildly big in the RTS scene. So I don't think it's like I don't think the hype is there.
No, you're right. I'll also just add this as a final thought. That's a good look for the company too.
It is
to take care of a game that you knew that unfortunately just didn't release with positive reception, and give good support to it in the long run. After some time, it was a project that you knew that you didn't get where it needed to be delivered, and now you're starting to edit that project to actually deliver it better this time. Companies have done this in the past before. No Man's Sky, Cyberpunk.
That's the best example of that reputation. I remember when it came out. Sorry, I'm taking over. I apologize.
You're fine. You're fine.
I remember when Cyberpunk came out, and like I played it on PC, and at the time, 4 years ago, when did it come out? 3 years ago?
I think it's been 4 years.
When it came out at the time, at least, my PC for the time was good. It's dog shit now. I need to replace this like garbage can right here, but at the time it was good. And I didn't have a single issue. I had 2 bugs the whole time I played Cyberpunk 2077. One of them was like the one motorbike scene, if you remember, where you guys like riding along, you and Panam. And so the bikes are like this, right? Panam was in front of you, I think. And my character, my V, was on his motorbike, except my V was here, right? My left leg, the leg over the side of the bike. And my V was right here. Like, leg extended all the way here, looking into Panam's ass.
Oh my god.
And I was like, interesting bug, okay. I mean, like, it didn't impact the game. I didn't have to reload, nothing. Like, once the motorbike scene ended, like, my guy just went, back onto the bike, and I just went. I was like, all right, okay. It is what it is. And the second bug I had was, I was driving, I forgot what car it was, and then, like, you go over the curb, whatever, you do, like, stupid shit. So, I drive over a curb. And this one curb may have had a mysterious super pixel or some shit, because I touched the curb, and I got launched to the fucking moon.
Oh, shit.
I died. I went out of bounds. Like, it just, my game's like, you know, the death scene? I don't even know what the hell happened. Like, it was like,
Brother, I'm
you
gonna
are
call it right
dead.
now.
And
You just got cyber fucked.
yeah, I did. And that's what happened. It's like, and I was just like, huh,
Yep.
what the hell? What even caused that? And I tried to replicate it for like 30 minutes, and I was just like, I went back to the exact same curve. I was like, fuck, what is this? Because I literally, I ordered it like 2 minutes ago. So it wasn't even like a far
Yeah.
drive. I was like, and that was it.
Cyberpunk.
That was my entire buggy experience. And then on Reddit and shit, you saw people's console experience. It shouldn't have launched on PS4 and Xbox. What is the old Xbox called? Not the Xbox One. It was the Xbox S, I think.
The Xbox Series S, yeah,
Yeah, it shouldn't have launched on the Xbox Series S and PS4. That was a scummy move by CD Projekt Red.
Yeah.
But aside from that, like if you play it on PC, it was actually not a bad experience at all.
No, yeah, I agree. Like, I mean, I'll give a small talk, but I'll say that basically that Cyberpunk had its problems. CD Projekt Red rectified those problems, and it shows you what a responsible company should do for a game that they had passion for and they put out, and they just didn't do it as a cash grab to get fans involved into a new IP and then just dip out on you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what a good company does. Even like, you know, I give credit to No Man's Sky earlier. Their game was dog shit. Later on, their game is really good now, heavily improved. And I think companies that do that, I got to give credit to. So in progression towards, you know, talking about WoW, I think that, you know, if they do that for Warcraft 3 2.0, and they show like, you know, actual adjustments being made to the game, I got to give my hat off, even though I'm not wearing one, but I would give my hat off to Blizzard, saying good job, kudos to you guys. Honestly, that's a W move, and I'm really looking forward to, you know, the future of seeing how good that game, you know, prevails.
Absolutely. And like that's how you know, like my autism doesn't show often. I'm autistic. It may not be obvious, but I am. I went on a fucking 10-minute ramble about fucking Cyberpunk. And I forgot my initial fucking point of what I was trying to say.
It's fine. Listen. Classic Plus Cyberpunk is coming out next. We got whiteboard streams to do, right? But that's what we love about Epic.
The whole point I was saying was, now that I remembered, because I went on, I was like, they fixed their game and they made it good for everybody else. They rectified their mistake. They added a lot of the cut content. They fleshed things out. They made it a better, amazing, essentially top 5 RPG ever made, right?
Yeah.
Because they took the Witcher 3 goodwill, threw it in the dumpster, and then they sifted through the garbage and shit and grabbed the reputation back out of it, which is very rare. And that's what Blizzard is right now. Blizzard is in the garbage can. And piece by piece, they're clawing themselves out of there. Between the War Within being good, and now if they do this and they fix it, and then they announce a Classic Plus, like, any company that's gone out of the way to rebuild their reputation typically is forgiven, because at the end of the day, I think gamers do forgive. Like, it takes time, but I think people want to forget. I don't think people want to be upset. I think people want to have fun and a good time. So I genuinely think people, they want to trust Blizzard again. I don't think anybody actually really hates Blizzard. I think they're just frustrated being burned. And so, like you said, if they do this, that trust gets rekindled and people can suddenly be like, old Blizzard, it's back. Are you really back?
Possibly.
I'm hopeful. Which actually ties into the next point about Blizzard's like hope and reputation. They said in the blue post, if I bring it back up here, discover what's next on the horizon for both WoW Classic and Modern. But the very first sentence they said is, relive the evolution of the world's most beloved MMORPG. And then we saw the TBC, the Illidan poster, 5 days left, and then you had the Illidan and Arthas Secret Labs chair skins, and everyone's been theory crafting and theorizing about classic progression, right? A few of us did predict it months ago, and were called crackheads, and now everyone seems to believe it's genuinely coming. Do you believe it's coming, Tello? Do you believe for a fact that that statement, relive the evolution, is in regards to the classic progression servers resetting every 3 or 4 years, or like 12, 18 months for each expansion, and then reset? Especially based on the trailer having 1 minute 50 for vanilla, TBC, and Wrath.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it happening, if they do progressional style servers, I think it
Mhm.
would be something that would be finally a thing that the players want, because at the end of the day, I think it's like getting a little tiring where we have to wait every couple other years just to see if there's an announcement of like, oh, classic's back, or we're getting this back. Like, let's just finally have it set in stone. Every year you have RAF, TBC, and classic, and your characters can move on through any version of the game. You can copy your character, leave it here, level up in classic, still play in TBC, RAF, whatever, and then the year after that or so, or however they have the duration of when they do a refresh cycle, it's just all on dedicated servers that they have at their workplace, right? And they have dedicated systems that are just meant for classic progression only, and I think that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that's all the players want, is to be able to play through TBC anytime they want officially, play through RAF anytime they want officially. I mean, and look how good especially, you can even compare, like, because I know there's some people that would say, oh, but people won't play TBC or RAF, because there is those people out there. Look at people in China right now. China, it's blowing up. It's the most played version of World of Warcraft, even more than retail, even more than Season of Discovery. Wrath of the Lich King over there, and they are going crazy over there. You know what I mean? So obviously there is a market to be played for this game. So if that's just one country showing you that, imagine what happens if here in obviously I'm in the States in America, right? If we get the opportunity to just play through any version of the game that we want to, and how much more content can come out of that from other creators and stuff of that nature. And even if they were to even announce possible hardcore versions of RAF and TBC, if they really wanted to mess around with that as well, there's a lot of things that can come out of it. And honestly, I believe it, Evan. I genuinely think that we might get an announcement at the direct of progressional servers. I'm all for it. Why not? Let the boys and girls have fun. Listen. At the end of the day, we're paying you, Blizzard. We pay you monthly. We buy shop items. Give us the spit emo back. We'll pay for that too. Evan's talked about it multiple times.
I will buy it. I'll
We'll,
give it
we'll,
to
we'll,
5 people. I'll do a giveaway raffle.
yeah,
Tell me your favorite moment you would like to have been able to slash spit to win this spit emote.
absolutely. And if it comes with a $300 mount, we'll buy it too. Fuck it. We'll buy it all up. Just give us
The
the
Hawk
progressional
Tour
service,
mount.
brothers. Yes, the Hawk Tour mount. Give
I'm
us it
sorry.
all right? And it has a couple mountain dudes with the codes on the side for the new bicycle in the game. I don't care, dude. Bring a Domino's pizza with it. All I'm saying is give us progressional servers so people can enjoy any version of the game with a nice, dedicated server base with, people to have fun with. I don't think that's asking for much. I think that would be awesome,
And
and
that's
it would answer a lot.
really on point. And I actually just realized something. So people may not know this, and this is like tying into what you said. You were talking about China. People always thought
Yeah,
MOP was made for the Chinese player base, right? But TBC was, because the Chinese people would not play Horde because they don't play ugly races. They made Blood Elves specifically for the Chinese player base. Like, mathematically, metrics wise, that was the reason for TBC. Well, they wanted to make TBC anyways, but like the reason Blood Elves are on Horde, they essentially made that decision for the Chinese player base.
yeah,
Because they would like the faction disparity was like in like vanilla, I think it was like 55-60% alliance, 45-35% like Horde. But it was still like, it was playable. China was like 90-10. It's fucking like, ain't nobody playing ugly shit. Which makes me think that the Chinese servers make a lot of money. They don't even have SoD yet.
Imagine.
They're gonna get the polished, finished version of SoD.
Oh yeah.
And they're gonna have store mounts in their SoD. And where I'm getting at with this is, we're getting evolution servers, progression servers, if you want to call them that. Or I'm not sure what they're gonna call. Maybe they will call them evolution servers. But that means China will get them. And that means China, like, it's gonna be delayed. So we're essentially alpha beta testing the money makers over there in China who are gonna buy the fuck out of store mounts.
True.
And that's like the SoD Future, which we'll come back to, but it just made me think about the fact that they're playing catch up right now. And we are doing the progression server test, essentially, like how playable will it be. But like you said, there are more people playing Wrath of the Lich King in China than any other moment in time in WoW, right? Just period, blank story. Ulduar had some insane raid numbers. So my point is, imagine how much money they're going to end up making once that shit gets to China. Progression servers. You can play on Era, TBC, or Wrath whenever you want.
Oh, they're gonna make bank.
Mm,
I'm talking loads of money.
Yeah.
Loads of money, dude.
Because
it's not even a competition.
Because the War Within's popular. I just don't think it's that popular. Like in comparison to
Yeah.
Wrath, at least, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what retail expansion they're on right now, but I don't think it's gonna break that many records. I mean, it's sure it'll break records compared to the US and the EU, but like I think for them it's gonna be like another regular expansion. Like, oh wow, they sold 72 million copies. That's mediocre. And like in the US, they'd be like 70 million.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
But no, so but I do agree with you on progression servers that it's gonna be insane. Like it's people deserve to play what they want to play, even if you disagree with them, even if it's not your favorite kind or the server you want or the kind of gameplay you want. What harm is there in letting people play TBC or Wrath? Player base is already divided as shit. Like the classic era Andes do not play SoD. They hate on it from the sidelines.
Yeah.
Which is fair, you can hate it. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but like Cataclysm players, the progression guys, they only play Cataclysm. I don't know many SoD people that play Firelands. Almost nobody I know has tried it.
Yeah, I don't know many SoD people. Any SoD players I know SoD enjoys, they are hardcore to SoD. They like SoD, and you know that's all they need. That's all they want. That's fine. You know, if they enjoy that, you enjoy that. But you know, I do think there is that problem. Obviously, we already kind of understand that where players are divided. Unfortunately, we all have our categories and what we think is the best version of the game. But I think at the end of the day, just having the options to play the game is what it's all about, and just turn off the volume of the naysayers and just enjoy the version of the game that you want to play.
100%, and I think that's where they're going, because I think Blizzard has realized, at least the classic devs, because Agron used to be super chatty and friendly, and then people have told them to take your life and unlife it too many times. And he's not as chatty anymore. Do I blame him? I get death threats pretty often. They're mostly funny though, but like he probably gets way more than me because I'm just a random ass creator. Like you can dislike my opinion, you can just block me or mute me. Can't block or mute Agron because he's making the choices for your game regardless. So I think they've realized that after that much hate, whether it's warranted or not, because it never is, but whether you dislike what they've done to your game, if you just give people their options, it removes the ability to whine. Like, what do you have left to whine about if they give you TBC, Wrath, and fresh servers? They let them repeat. You have your era servers all the time. Hardcore gets a fresh server every 12 months, so you can do a fresh hardcore, no GDKPs, no nothing. How does that hurt anybody? Were they going to play SoD anyways? Were they going to play Mob Classic? Because think about it, Era's got 15,000, 20,000 people. Sure, maybe there's 100,000 people because a lot of people don't raid log the GDKPs. But they don't play anything else.
No, yeah. I honestly, I'm going to say something that I think is kind of like a hot take. I think a lot of people who don't comment stuff online and just enjoy the game for what it is are happy with what the product already is. Like they don't care about a lot of the stuff people are complaining about online or any posts or discussions. Like they're happy with what the original game was, and if any further announcements come from the direct, they'll be even happier. Like there is that group of people out there that just don't care about what the naysayers are saying. The people that like to give doubts, throw death threats, all that BS. That's all trash. Like that's not something any of us as creators or the fan base of just players of World of Warcraft should even care about. At the end of the day, people are going to complain. I know there's this big thing even in SoD where people believe in a big complain meta where you complain to get what you want and you get it. You know what I mean? It happens with a lot of the classes. Don't get me wrong. I totally understand that. I've even posted a forum post, one time myself, talking about stuff from, obviously my class. And I know there's just like this big war of things of like people saying this whole big, yell at the devs, get what you want thing is existing right now. But this is what I would say to this and to everyone else, and I guess this is more directed towards Blizzard. Honestly, guys, to be honest with you, I think you guys should just do whatever the fuck you want. Do whatever the fuck you want at the end of the day. Stop listening to people and just do what you feel like is best for the game. If it comes to the point where it warrants enough information to really make a change because it's so vocally active and everyone is agreement on it, then okay. Obviously, you can make a change. But you don't need to listen to everybody. You could just do what you feel like is best for your game. And people will either ride with your game or they won't ride with your game. It is as simple as that. The only thing that we say as content creators is that we just want to see Classic Plus be fucking awesome and great for everyone. That's all we hope for. And if you could deliver that at bare minimum, you got everybody on board, ready to go. Let's get this gravy train going.
100%. Straight up, ignore everybody. You just let me handle it. Just listen to me. Nobody. I know exactly what the player base needs. Ignore everyone else.
Absolutely.
And I'm Himothy.
You're him. You got aura. You're glowing.
I am. Like my presence just exudes.
And I'm just like a little chubby Majin Buu in the corner with a couple chocolates. By the way, Oreo fudge.
My man called himself Majin fucking Buu.
I'm Majin Buu, baby. That's what I'm talking about. We going Majin. We going crazy.
And the light making you look a little pink. He's Majin Buu.
That's what I'm telling you, dog. I'm telling you, man. I'm locked in, bro. I'm always locked in, bro. But listen, I do think as talking about the rect, there's a bright future ahead. And talk about future. What do you think about, because this kind of ties into two topics we were going to talk about, the Season of Discovery and Retail's future. One, do you think we're going to see any roadmaps or actual scripts of, on live screen, presentation of, Season of Discovery? Like a genuine roadmap, but like an actual, like, how they did with their other Phase 4 video or Phase 3 video.
You mean like a video?
Yeah, like actual videos of them showing descriptors of like, this is what's coming in this is what's coming in that. Do you see that for Season of Discovery? Of course, I think we see that in retail, like a snippet of like maybe some things they'll show, but do you see that more for Season of Discovery, especially in comparison to retail? Or do you see it being evenly out of what they talk about more?
So between the two of them, I think with retail, the issue is they've already announced a lot of retail's things. So I think it's a 45-minute showcase. I know for a fact it's gonna be like 5 or 10 minutes of Rumble. I know for a fact. Like nobody's looking forward to that, but they're gonna waste time because the reason they're not doing BlizzCon is they have announcements, but not really enough announcements. That's for next year. So, okay, cool, fair enough. And then they're gonna do, like I said, 5-10 minutes for Hearthstone. They're gonna waste like 15 to 20ish. Like, let's say 12 to 20-ish minutes on Rumble and Hearthstone. We're not going to talk about them on this podcast because we don't give a shit. But like, let's just say about 40% of the time goes towards this shit. Then retail's probably going to get 10-ish minutes, maybe 15 minutes, where it's going to be like, here's some more info about 11.0.7, this ring item, here's some examples, what you can do with it. We're discussing and thinking about A, B, C, and here's these mounts you can unlock. And then here's 5 minutes about 11.1, what's coming there. Here's 2 minutes on Plunderstorm and the new season. And then here's 2 minutes on it now becoming a fully integrated thing in Season 3, because they're doing that. They're making Plunderstorm fully integrated into a launchable, queuable, forever PvP game mode from inside the game. That actually got leaked. That's actually a thing. I'm not even making that up. That's genuinely already been leaked. So they'll probably do that. Like, I'm not sure if that's going to be Season 2 or Season 3 of Plunderstorm, but it is.
Okay.
And then they might do like a quick tease of an 11.1.5. You guys wouldn't believe it, but here's Remix, or here's a new game mode we've been working on, Cooking Simulator, Warcraft Edition, like some new game mode for retail. Like, I think they're gonna do something to make retail more exciting, because at the end of the day, it's an 18-month patch cadence. Came out in August. We're about August, September, October, November, and it's been about 2 months and like 15 days, 16 days since it came out. So 2.5 months since retail launched. That means it's got, 12, 3.5 more months. It's got 15 months left before Midnight comes out. We already know Midnight's coming out, give or take February 2026. So just they're probably gonna give us a roadmap going. We're not telling you guys info yet, but this is give or take what the cadence looks like. You know, remember the Cataclysm roadmap where they had like winter, summer, etc. Probably gonna do that for retail, like give you the exact dates for like up to 1.1, and then after that just be like in this season.
There it is. Yeah.
And then I think it's gonna be initially before today. I would have put more money on it being mostly retail and classic getting 5 minutes for lucky. But based on what I've been seeing, they're going to remilk classic to bolster sub numbers for Q4.
Okay.
Because I think retail as an expansion never gets more subs as it goes longer. I think it starts to slowly lose subs as the game goes longer, if that makes sense. I feel like more people quit playing over the course of an expansion than it gains people over the course of an expansion. So
Yeah,
I know
I agree.
Somebody actually got the numbers. 7 million people played the War Within's launch. Now, was that 7 million individual people? Or was that like 7 million characters or 3.5 or 4 million people? Nobody was exact on it, but let's just hypothetically say 7 million people. Come next raid tier, if 5 million people play, I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
Not because retail's bad, but the average World of Warcraft player, based off market research and things that Blizzard has even unveiled, is they play the launch, they play the first phase, and most don't come back till the next expansion. Because they're sub for the whole year anyway. A lot of retail players just buy the whole year. And they play intermittently throughout. The sub numbers don't change, but player metrics change. It gets lesser.
I can see that. Yeah.
But classic people are loud as fuck, and they play a lot, and they complain a lot. More than retail.
True.
So by announcing a lot of these things, because you got to remember, over 5 million people came back in 2019. And since then, that number has dropped off. Because people want to play this specific version. So if they do this break glass because of emergency, launch fresh. And then TBC comes after fresh. Then Wrath comes after fresh. SoD gets a phase after Nax that is potentially Karazhan or Scarlet Raid. Just those four, even without a Classic Plus announcement, is at least 1 or 2 million people resubbing.
Yeah.
Just off the bat.
100%.
So this
100%.
is genuinely very clearly someone at Blizzard, someone high up in terms of marketing or whatever, trying to hit their KPIs or their metric goals to get their big fat bonus.
It's always about the yacht, isn't it?
It's always about the yacht. So my prediction is they realize that, okay, we've lost essentially, Q3 was great, but Q4 is not that great. And how am I going to get these classic players to resub to give me that good bonus? Because Microsoft doesn't care how much money you generate. They care about your monthly MAUs. They care about your metrics. Because they're all about Game Pass and subscribers. Get locked in the Xbox/Microsoft ecosystem. So Microsoft's number one engagement metric based off the FTC, etc. is not money. It's playtime. It's why despite Hi-Fi Rush being a critical success, they cut it. Because critical success means fucking nothing if nobody's playing it. 10,000 people said this is the best indie game ever made. 45,000 people touched the game. To Microsoft, that's a failure. Doesn't matter how critically acclaimed it is. Nobody's playing, it's a bad game. It's like those people that go like, have you ever tried this Fiji Himalayan bath rock footstool bullshit? It's amazing. Cleanse your chakra. And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like, it's the best thing since sliced bread. Like, no, it's not. What the fuck did you even find that? That's Hi-Fi Rush. It's amazing. It's cool. It's great. But like, if it doesn't get the metrics they want, which is, it was still a bad decision. I need to clarify to everybody watching. I'm not defending them firing Hi-Fi Rush Studio. I was just saying the number one metric they go for is engagement, being locked into the ecosystem.
Yes.
So all these execs at Blizzard, oh no, we're down 500,000 subs. Phil Spencer's gonna beat my ass with a belt if I don't get these sub numbers back out. If we announce Classic Plus, how many Classic people will renew their subs or come back? The amount of people threatening to quit and unsub or not renew their subs if there's no Classic Plus is high as shit. They don't even have to release that shit. I'm pretty sure they're announcing it just to get the fucking sub numbers up. And that's tying into SoD. Nothing for Phase 7, it's going to be Nax. But then you get Karazhan Crypt in Phase 8. So we might as well come back and start getting geared and prepared for it. AQ's around the corner. Might as well come back and start finding a guild, getting everything rolling. Then so you can jump into Nax, and then you can jump into the Karazhan or the Scarlet, whatever it is. Same thing with Cataclysm. You might not like MOP. But hey, it's MOP. It's Mr. Pandora Classic. Have you tried it? I know a lot of people quit it the first time. Maybe you'll enjoy it this time. Come back and try it. We know a lot of you are tired of SoD or Cataclysm. You don't want to go to MOP. You don't want to go to Kara. You want to play fresh. And some of you want TBC and Wrath. Guess what? Play fresh first. It's going into TBC and then Wrath. And then you get forever error servers afterwards for each of them. They're very clearly gaming the metrics. This isn't me trying to like be super hyped than Copium. I'm looking at this financially, and I don't think Q4 is a strong quarter.
Yeah. I think at the current moment, like with the ideas that they have, like how you were talking about metrics and how you were talking about, it's not fundamentally of like what comes out and what is really exciting right off the rip. It's about how can we maintain that growth and keep that growth going. How can we maintain a steady line, a steady metric of like, okay, we see potential of this going even further. And obviously, companies being companies, how can we milk the more money out of you? Exactly. Let's be honest, right? And it's like, and that's just the way business works. It's the way business works, not even just gaming. We're talking about in all forms of business of how can we keep elevating a business to not only make you want to come back the next day, but make you think about us every fucking week. You know, like just being honest with you, making you think about, man, you know what? This place is around the corner. I'm going to stop by there Friday. It was so damn good. I'm going to stop there Saturday too and Sunday. You know what? I'm going to visit it every day. And then, you know, there you go. Now you got a reoccurring customer, you know, and they want to do that several times with every single person, you know. So that's just business 101. But I will say, just to answer something that or ask you a question even further for you to go a little bit upon, what if they take, and this is something I just thought about, you know, the Secret Labs thing that we saw with RAF and TBC. What if, because I was a big fan of MOP Remix, you know, and I did enjoy MOP Remix. I played the shit out of it. Obviously, I was a big frogger, so to say. But what if they decided that instead of like TBC or progressional servers or any of this stuff and the future of, you know, SoD or what's going on, but they interject this into their presentation, that TBC and RAF are not the RAF and TBC that we know, but they are remix versions. Do you think people would be happy with that? Or do you think people would be really mad about that?
This is going to be a controversial response. So I want to answer the non-controversial part first. I think it's going to be TBC remix or Legion remix for retail. That's the next remix. It's one of those two.
For retail. Correct. There is
there's absolutely going to be one of those two as the next remix. I know for a fact. I would bet money on it. Legion or TBC is getting a remix for retail 11.1.5 or 11.2.5. I'm not sure, or 11.2.7. Whatever it is, they're getting a remix at some point before midnight launches.
Correct.
Now for the classic player base, to answer that question. Just the World of Warcraft player base. If there was no progression servers and it was just TBC and Wrath remix, there would be millions of very happy players enjoying themselves. There would be just as many, if not more people who aren't even subbed to the game, threatening bloody murder for that being the announcement. So they would make a lot more money off retail players with TBC and Wrath Remix. So people would be buying WoW token mounts, this, that, to then like get for boost in like this content, like grind through it, etc.
Yeah.
They would make more money. But it would be one of those decisions where what's one of those sayings where like you do something bad for a quick profit to hurt yourself in the long run. One of those sayings. I forget off the top of my head. So I don't think that's happening. But we are absolutely getting a remix. I personally predicted TBC remix. But like even at the time when I wrote that 2.5 months ago, I told everybody that it could be Legion remix and I wouldn't be surprised. It's one of the two. Both of those are critically acclaimed and people love them. And it's going to be one of the expansions that not many people actually really played and enjoyed. So MOP was very popular, but a lot of people quit for MOP and didn't actually play MOP and get the stuff in it. TBC is one of those expansions as well. So I think TBC would be all Legion, because Legion has like the artifact towers and mage towers and all that
Mage
stuff,
towers,
like
yeah.
all the not artifact towers, artifact weapons and all the skins and all the stuff, and the mage tower skins and all the hundreds of mounts, so much shit that I think Legion remix would be very popular, but TBC remix would probably be very popular as well. So I would, either way, remix wise, Retail's getting one of the two, 100%.
Yeah, I like that take, because I think honestly at the end of the day it all goes back to, you know, players just enjoying whatever Blizzard gives them, you know, and no matter what, people are just going to want to be involved with Blizzard gaming. You know, even if you give them 2 versions of remix or 1 version, and it doesn't follow up with being progression, they'll enjoy it. If you give them progressional servers, I know a lot of classic, you know, Andy player bases, especially us classic players, we would love that. We would think that would be really cool. It's just awesome that you're giving us multitude of versions of the game to play every year for the rest of our, you know, lives, if we ever wanted to play it that long, you know. So I don't see a yes or wrong answer, because at the end of the day, when I look at it from a business perspective, when I look at it from the growth of a company on how much margins we're going to make from either or, I would see us making more bang for our buck on quick burst from remix more than anything. But longevity wise, I think sustain would be classic.
Absolutely.
So sustain is classic, quick burst is obviously remix, and that's kind of funny because that's what retail is: quick burst versus, you know, classic being a long grind, a long sustain, you know. So it's it's right there in the pudding, you know. It's all there for, you know, them to decide. And I think honestly the future of both games, either way or how we look at it, obviously it'll go through bumps on the road, but I think we're going in a better direction for retail, and I think we're going a pretty good direction, especially with all the announcements, you know, for the direct. And I mean, dude, it's what, 1 to 2 days to the direct now, right? 1 to 2 days to the direct. Like, the time is finally here. For months now, for weeks on months, we were hoping and waiting when this direct is going to happen, and we have the date, we have the time. And I want to ask you, man, like, 45 minutes, do you think it's enough? Do you think that it could have been a little bit longer? Do you think, now this is something we're going to even talk about, think, next week as well, like, was the direct good? Let's review the entire direct, right? Of course. But just asking you now, before the direct happens, do you think 45 minutes is enough to go over everything you want as a content creator and also as a player? Do you think 45 minutes is enough?
So I'm going to give 2 answers here. A pragmatic, realistic answer, and what I personally would have hoped for. Now, realistic and pragmatic, 45 minutes is quite plenty. Because there's no there's no in-person showcase. You don't have to go there and do a whole show and presentation. They're not doing any of that long wind-up ceremony stuff. They're getting on screen, back-to-back trailers and announcements, and like a couple minutes of talking here or there. So it's a lot of content jam-packed fast, which is cool. It's good. 45 minutes. It's a solid amount, especially if it's mostly just announcements and information back to back to back. Like, so I don't actually have a complaint about the exact amount. This is the pragmatic, realistic answer. It's actually good for content creators, for viewers, for everybody. It's solid. Now I'm gonna answer the second part, and this is like the it should have been like 3 hours long, and they should have gone into a fuck ton of detail for every game, for all the information.
Yes.
I feel like they should have done like they should have like done the SoD segment of like going into detail about Phase 6, you know, explaining how they were going to open the caverns of time, but they're saving that for a future phase or a project. But this is what they're doing in the meantime. Here's Phase 7 and Nax. We're doing a whole thing with the burning of Andorhal. We're bringing that back, and we're doing it a 10-man mega dungeon. We're doing this and this, and they're explaining all the content that's coming. Solid 30-minute like informational breakdown about SoD's future. Then a teaser of Phase 8 going. We teased Nax at last BlizzCon. We teased Kara at last BlizzCon. I think it's time we tease it a little bit further this time. And just show some like zoom-ins of like Kara crypts or whatever, being like, stay tuned. And then they should end it with a classic plus teaser of like, you know, the whole trailer. The voice actor comes on stage and goes, there are many timelines. Azeroth has been visited and destroyed and saved across timelines immeasurable. Yet what is the true timeline? for a land as mighty and revered as Azeroth. And is it, this one, hidden away in a realm where the Lich King slept, in a realm the dark portal did not open? Then it fades out to
Boom.
coming soon. And like something like that with an Agron getting on stage going, that was interesting. Timelines, huh? I'm sure some of you may have heard about this line where they said Garrosh was the chosen champion in many timelines, except this. This is the worst timeline. And there are a lot of timelines to look forward to. I wonder what's in this one. I guess we'll find out eventually.
And then boom.
And then boom. Like, they could do so much. They could explain and go into in-depth. Like 11.1, let's talk about the new raid. Let's talk about the new information, the new mechanics, PvP. What are the stories going? How that's leading? The new game mode. Discuss what they think about a game mode being, how fun it is. Talk about Thunderstorm's success and responses. A 3-hour full in-depth breakdown with a lot of information would have been my personal dream. We're not getting that. But like I said initially, pragmatic and realistic answer, I am not disappointed. I'm just not as happy as I potentially could have been. But what about you? What about you?
I will agree in the sense of that I think as a player, more is always better, no matter what. And I think that's that's a term for everybody in life. Everybody wants more of something, right?
Exactly.
But I will say that getting more out of Blizzard, depending on how good the direct is really going to affect whether this should have been a longer direct or not. So I think a lot of weight is on the shoulders of Blizzard right now of this direct either succeeding or not succeeding, because it needs to nail every point that the players expected to see, wanted to see, and to be honest with you, have to see at this point of where we are right now with Blizzard games. And it's not that it has to, but in a sense, after a while, like we were talking about, sustain, longevity, keeping growth, regaining that growth, and rebuilding trust. And I think that's a lot of the majority of the key points that we were talking about in this podcast, is especially the thoughts way back earlier in the cast where we were talking about, how companies rebuilded trust with their, fan bases where people felt burnt. And that is still a thing that is relevant in World of Warcraft, even for a lot of bigger creators, such as like people like Asmongold, like Asmon and him, like, I know Zach has talked about a lot of times where he's like, he doesn't really like even playing Blizzard games anymore. It's not for him, and imagine if something like, a Classic Plus with, actual in-depth and, and I'm not saying we're going to get an hour talk, right? Like that's not being realistic, but down the line, even if other events happened where it was like not only just a 45-minute event, but we get like an hour and a half event, 2-hour event, actual in-depth analysis of like everything being broken down from artwork to the design to, the lore, the music, everything being like, redefined, reimagined, and, actually showing like the passion behind the project, and that's something that as players, we love seeing that stuff, especially with a lot of companies that release, games that, we all enjoy playing. And I think it's very important for them to capitalize on every single second of this direct to make sure that it is a banger, to make sure this is a direct to remember. That less like, guys, we don't have a BlizzCon this year. We apologize. We know we messed up. We wish we did have a BlizzCon. I know everybody likes to come and dress up and get excited, and there's, entertainment and there's great value that comes out from going to a BlizzCon, but we're going to make this direct feel really special, and let's not compare our direct to other people's directs, like, Nintendo, how they do the direct. Obviously, Nintendo, they just go real fast with their directs. It's just a lot of announcements. But let's show some effort and passion in this. And I really hope it knocks it out the park, a total grand slam, a full-on touchdown. And I really am praying for the best. But at the same time, as Blizzard fans, we know what it's like being burnt. So we know what to expect. Don't go in there thinking that possibility is not probable, where we could possibly get burnt from this direct, which we would still cover, like, trust me, as us creators, we would still cover that. But I definitely think this needs to be a day of extreme hype. And I know that's a topic that, we're kind of combining right now, especially with the duration of the event and the hype. But I think it needs to be a day of hype, because if it's not, man, oof, man, yeah, talk about a sour taste. And not only a creator, but like as a player, dude. I'm talking even just as a player. That'd leave a sour taste in my mouth if the direct wasn't good. I'd be so bummed out. Like, imagine, like, it, like, I know these are the negatives, but we have to talk about them. Imagine no Classic Plus. Imagine it's just like some remix information, and they don't really go into much at all with even hardcore, not even talking about hardcore. Maybe not even giving any light to the Classic community on a new fresh, and it really is just some discussion on Season of Discovery at best. And that's really about it. That would bum people out. I think that would bum people out, because I think at this point, don't get me wrong. It like, at the end of the day, who are we to say that we just want more, right? We want more. At the end of the day, some people say, well, we're the consumer, we're paying for the game, of course. But at the end of the day, it's up to the developers to give out more, And I really hope that this direct with the 45 minutes they got is a banger. That's all I can really say. That's all I can really comment on. And I think, it's the best we can do, right, Evan?
It is, and like you said, this is a replacement for BlizzCon, and this is either going to go down as another "you think you do but you don't," or "don't you guys have phones" situation, or it's going to go down as a Metzen going on stage going, "Can I hear the Horde? Yeah. Can I hear some Alliance? Yeah. Look at the fucking trailer."
Yeah, man.
And so those are the two options. And the issue is, based on how they've been talking, how they've been doing things, I do think next year we're going to get a major event. I do think they are actually saving the proper Classic Plus, like, here's the 3-minute trailer and everything, and then the full-on, like, how they do, like, they do the Warcraft segment, and then they do the Classic segment, and then they do, like, the deep dive after. I'm almost certain that they're going to do, like, next year, we'll have, like, that full-on hour of just Classic plus deep dive. And then they spend the initial part of the event just surface-level information kind of situation, where they go, here's the trailer, here's Agron on stage talking, here comes Chris Metzen to talk about how this is a world he built and a world he loves. So he's giving the reins over to Agron, because this is a timeline for the Classic players, and they deserve their own successful, amazing universe kind of situation. But this year, like you said, no, they're trying to cram a bunch of shit into one event, in the sense that they need to go fast, but they also want to reinvigorate hope and save most of the major announcements for next year. So Warcraft 4, if it's coming, and I do believe it is, may not get announced this year, but they may allude to it at the end of the Warcraft 30th anniversary segment, where they go, the RTS genre seems to be recovering. And it'd be really nice if there was a 4th game, Could be cool. Maybe next year. And they could tease it like that. Not officially confirm it, but like get on stage and joke about it. Because I think they've learned their lessons after Diablo Immortal. I don't think they're ever going to do that again. I think they're always going to tease something in the future, whether it's there or not. Because even if it's not there, they can just gaslight us and act they never said it.
Yeah, that's fine. Like, at least, like, be human is what I'm saying. Don't be robotic. Like, be human about this. Relate with your fans. You guys are gamers too, at the end of the day. And we fuck with that. Let's be normal. Let's be normal human beings for a second. We fuck with good energy. We like good vibes. If we could see somebody's not being a phony fuck, we love that shit. And that's why we liked Agron. That's why we liked Nora. That's why we liked the people on Season of Discovery. Like, we enjoyed it. We saw good people. Obviously there were some mess ups. To all the people that do those threats, you guys are losers. You guys shouldn't be doing that whatsoever. But what I'm saying is, we vibe with good energy and good vibes when we see people actually on the screen that give a shit about the game. Exactly. Metzen, good energy, hella hyped. That's why we like him, and honestly, that's what it's all about. You make people that are relatable to your company, that we could see that those are gamers that we would be like, we're gamers too, then we're going to love your company even more. And I honestly think, 45 minutes, fine. If that's the duration of the direct, that's fine. Let's just make these 45 minutes impactful. give us good vibes, give us a good feeling, and make sure that, you know, your community is taken care of. That's all we ask for. I think there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. And I think that's the least we can expect, regardless of what the most that can possibly happen. And I think that's what's best for the WoW community overall. And honestly, I'm not going to lie, I'm just hella hyped at this point. I think my hype is through the roof. I know it's not showing right now. Also, it's 8 o'clock and at the same time. No, but what I'm saying is that I am hella hyped. Eben is hella hyped. And I really think this, on the 13th, I'm going to say it now, is one of the most important dates of World of Warcraft's history we've ever had. It's gonna be remembered as either the biggest announcement ever talked about all across the web, or it's gonna be the biggest flop.
Mm-hmm.
One of the two. There's no like, oh, it's mid. Yeah, like yes, that term gets thrown out a lot, but it's either a flop or is it good? Is it good or bad? And that's what people are gonna say at the end of this on multiple threads, Twitter, everywhere.
And that's the sad truth is, and I've said this before as well with Classic Plus as well, is like, even if it comes out, they don't have the luxury of spending years making it a good game, because people have this mental expectation of, well, this private server has all of this. How is this official? Bad company, bad devs, bad this. They're not allowed grace. They're not allowed time. You're Blizzard. It has to be perfect. And that's the thing, is that Blizzard isn't allowed to be average. As a company, as developers, as content, if it's average, it's bad. And very few other companies are held to that standard. CD Projekt Red, Larian, Blizzard, and there's probably a few more where if you release a bad product, you're torn apart. Let's use EA as an example. If EA releases a mid-game, what happens? Well, expected. Ubisoft? It's Ubisoft quality. It's expected. You're more surprised when it's actually great. Like Valhalla, right? Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Have you played it?
Yeah.
It was okay, but my best description of it would be, this is pretty mid. Slightly above average. This is fun. Nice time waster. And that's the thing, is like Blizzard can't do that. Diablo 4 would be, for being honest, like a 6.5 out of 10 on launch. People treated it like it was a 1 out of 10 game. People treated it like it was absolute dog shit. Warcraft 3 Reforged had to come out by a different company, would have been like a 5 out of 10 RTS. People would have been like, it's whatever. Not super unexpected. From Blizzard, 1 out of 10.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not defending their mistakes. As a company, they make a lot of it, but they don't have the grace of that. And when you said the event's either going to be great or mid, or great or ass, you're right. Even if it's a 5 or 6 out of 10 event, it's going to be called a 1 out of 10. It's straight up going to be like, this was garbage. Terrible, terrible, terrible event.
Yeah, facts.
Can't believe this is the future of Blizzard. Dead company. Oh well. Or it's going to be, let's save Blizzard. We're saved.
Yeah, you're going to see hype in the comments. You're not going to see L event. You know what I mean? It's going to be just nothing but W's. Just a really exciting time to be a part, be a Blizzard fan, you know, and that's what it's all about, you know, because I don't believe in this whole like, you know, oh, it's mid, it's like whatever. I mean, don't get me wrong, yeah, that there's times where that exists, but when it comes to the Blizzard fan base and when it comes to like World of Warcraft, we either like it or we don't. It's as simple as that. It's that shit was good or that shit was great or that shit was just trash, you know?
Nuance?
That's what it's all about.
In my Blizzard? Hell no.
Yeah, dude, you know what I'm saying, man? Like I'm just saying, man, I genuinely think that, you know, this is the time for people to feel excited. And I really think Blizzard has a major opportunity here to go crazy. And Wednesday, right? I believe is the middle of this week. So
1 p.m. EST.
Wednesday, 1 p.m. EST. You know, this is a big moment. Eben, I believe you will be streaming the event, right? I think I'll be streaming it myself as well.
I will be going live. My last BlizzCon stream had 600 people, 500, 600. And my goal is to break 1,000 live viewers while I'm streaming Warcraft Direct, because this is the future of Warcraft and Classic, and this is the Classic plus confirmation. And either I will become Messiah, or I will go down as the biggest fraud in Classic history. But Wednesday, 1 p.m. EST, will be watching the event live. I'll be starting about an hour and a half before the event, so around 11:30 a.m. EST noon is when I'm gonna start the stream itself. But like, this is the moment. Asmon's gonna be watching this. Every big creator's gonna be watching this. Soda, like even like Tello, Hammer, the boys, they're getting together. We're probably gonna do an after direct like get together and discuss it. I'm not sure if that'll be live on stream or like as a podcast episode for people's channels. We're gonna get together and discuss a lot of this shit. But the future for Classic is on the line here. Retail's got a future. Nobody's really worried. Even if they don't announce midnight, people are like, okay, cool.
They know there's a future.
These phases look cool. If we get classic progression and a solid SoD roadmap with like here's phase 6, 7, 8, Kara, and then there's a question mark at the end, that's still hypeable. That's still kind of like, okay, I see you guys are still holding off on Classic Plus till next year. Understandable. You did tease it right there with the question mark, the future. I'll vibe with it. But if we get a shit roadmap, we don't get a Kara or a Scarlet raid, we just get progression servers and a hardcore, it becomes mid, which is shit. And
yeah,
I mean, we'll enjoy the fresh, but it's not Classic Plus. It's not Classic Plus. But Tello, do you have any closing statements?
Man, dude, listen, after the past episodes of me and you getting together, man, and talking about the future of this game, I think this is a beautiful moment for us to be excited about, kick our feet back, enjoy on stream. We'll both be streaming it. A lot of creators will be watching, and this is an excellent time in World of Warcraft's history mark of what's to come. And I couldn't be more proud to share the stage right here, you here on the podcast. I think it's been great. And I hope you fans and the people that have been watching and tuning in every time to Eben's videos, my videos, the comments, even on the live podcast, enjoy it yourself. And I look forward to Wednesday, amigos. Fully locked in. We got our Poland Springs ready, and I think we're good to go.
That was a beautiful statement by this beautiful man right here. I could not have asked for a better co-host. We've been building up to this. This is episode 13. Over 3 months of podcast. And I'm going to be honest with everybody. This will either be the second to last episode, or this is the beginning of this is either the end of the show or the end of season 1 and a beginning of season 2 of the podcast, where we go into even more detail, even more guests, and we're going to be bringing on a lot of people once they confirm Classic Plus, because everybody, it's real and it's coming. And I cannot wait to share that future. This man right here. It is going to be amazing, and all the creators who've been waiting for, all the players, everybody, the future is nigh. When this video comes out, it'll be quite literally 26 hours from this video's launch with Warcraft Direct. And I can't wait for everybody to have an amazing goddamn experience. I know it's gonna be something. We'll find out what.
It's gonna be something indeed.
But thank you all for watching. My name is Eben Hart. You can find me everywhere, Eben Hart TV. Tello, let them know where they can find you.
LOJ Tello, everywhere, social media. Much love to you. Locking in as always.
Thank you all for watching. Have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. Peace out, everybody.
Peace.